Imagine a world where your daily existence is a brutal test of survival against freezing water and scorching heat until you cross the Atlantic. It's a psychological reset that leaves millions of tourists feeling like they just time traveled from the Middle Ages into 2099. If you want to understand why your entire lifestyle is obsolete, stick around and hit like to join our community. Why has the standard of living on the old continent regressed to such a catastrophic degree of domestic stagnation trauma? While Europeans are trapped in a primitive struggle with two separate, inconvenient taps for hot and cold water, stepping into an American home is like being teleported through a wormhole to a future century. One shocked traveler recently claimed that the United States is essentially a 5 million times more upgraded version of the United Kingdom. It is a harsh truth that is hard to swallow. In the States, things that sound like science fiction, self-driving Waymo taxis, autonomous delivery droids on the sidewalk, or high-powered garbage disposals built right into the sink, are just mundane, everyday tools. Meanwhile, the British population is caught in a paralyzing cycle of despair, with a crumbling healthcare system, suffocating taxes, and rampant street crime. In contrast, America offers a sanctuary of absolute excess. From massive refrigerators that manufacture their own ice to a drive-through culture that covers everything from banking to life-saving medicine, it is time to wake up and witness the reality. We are going to explore exactly why European living standards have been utterly crushed by the American dream. Let's be completely honest for a moment. If you walked into a house and realized their most basic tools were 50 years ahead of your own, would you call it a vacation or a total psychological shock? For many people coming from the old continent, especially those from Britain, entering a standard middle-class American house feels like a journey into a high-budget Hollywood film. What Americans have considered a basic right for half a century is now exposing the decaying and outdated standards of the former world. Let's start with the most iconic example of European tap trauma, the faucet. While British people are forced to practice extreme patience with two separate taps, one that burns your skin off and another that freezes your fingers, Americans have mastered the simple, integrated mixing tap. That tiny detail alone exposes a design mindset that is brutally pragmatic and obsessed with human comfort. Is it actually true that you guys have different taps for hot and cold water? You are telling me that in America, you only have one single tap for both? What? This simply cannot be a real thing. I thought everyone on Earth had two taps. You have the red color for the hot one and the blue color for the cold one. You must be tricking me. Seriously, can someone explain this? I don't understand why you would have two separate faucets for one sink. This side is boiling, this side is ice. How do you even wash your hands comfortably? If you put your hands under both, one is scalding and the other is freezing. I tried doing the back and forth dance the other day, and it's hilarious because I've never seen this before. Our old place in the UK didn't have this, but this one does, and it cracks me up. Why two faucets? Do you just go back and forth? How do you wash your face without being miserable? It's just too hot or too cold, and it warms up so fast. And the sinks are so tiny. It's the smallest thing I've ever seen. But I guess everything is just bigger in America. I can handle the sink, but the two faucets are just a comedy. But the bathroom shocks don't stop there. You walk into an American washroom and see an electrical outlet right next to the mirror. In the UK, this is treated like a forbidden taboo for safety reasons. But in America, it's the ultimate height of convenience for styling your hair or shaving exactly where you stand. Would you prefer to live in a state of excessive security to the point where you have to stumble into the hallway to dry your hair? Or do you want a life that actually functions for you? Wait, just stop. You actually have sockets in your bathroom? What is this madness? This is dangerous. You don't do this. You even have the hairdryer right there. Do you not think that is incredibly risky? The contrast continues to escalate even in the very air you breathe. In Europe, summer means throwing your windows open and just surrendering to the sweltering, humid heat. Americans have achieved perfect atmospheric isolationism using advanced central air conditioning systems. These are things we have in our American house that we never had in England. Air conditioning is an absolute survival requirement when the temperature hits 40 degrees. We even use it for heating, so there are no ugly little radiators taking up space. Do you see that unit right there? That is a window AC. Even in older New York apartments, people find a way because comfort is a priority. If you move here on a budget, you buy your own AC and you live like a human being. Even catching a simple breeze has become more civilized in the States, thanks to the ubiquitous insect screens on every window. It is a simple detail that prevents your living room from becoming a mosquito convention like it is in England. I had never even seen one of these until I landed in America. If I'm cooking and it gets hot, I just open the window and I don't have to worry about a single bug getting inside, because the screen is right there. This is standard on every single house. And for the people who say they don't need it, just wait until the flies arrive. The way Americans handle domestic labor also exposes a massive mindset gap. While the British tuck their washing machines under kitchen counters right next to where they prepare food, Americans dedicate an entire separate laundry room to high-powered, industrial-grade appliances. Americans do not keep their washers in the kitchen. I checked into an Airbnb, and I've been looking all over the kitchen for the washing machine, and I couldn't find it. It turns out it is in a totally different room. In the UK, we'd have a fake cupboard door that opens up to reveal the machine, but that just isn't a thing here. And look at this fridge. It is a double-door behemoth with a massive tray. I have genuinely never seen a refrigerator this large in my entire life. Leftover food never even gets a chance to rot in an American trash can because it is instantly annihilated by the industrial shredder built right into the sink. This is one of those things about American houses that just makes total sense. They have food grinders in their sinks, just like you see in the movies, to get rid of any scraps. Watch this go. It's also a standard feature that the taps pull out and change spray patterns. It is so much better than touching wet, soggy food with your bare hands. If there are remnants left in the sink, Mr. Incinerator will simply destroy them. This technology is virtually non-existent in a British home. That level of convenience extends into every single corner of the home. Americans possess built-in dressing rooms that are the size of an entire studio apartment in London. They have food storage pantries that can hold supplies for a month, and basements that they transform into private cinemas or professional gyms. Walk-in closets are just the norm here. If you had a walk-in wardrobe in England, people would assume you were a millionaire. From dimmable lighting to practical horizontal windows, and the fact that almost every bedroom has its own private bathroom, the infrastructure isn't trying to pretend it's a historical monument. It was built for one purpose: the maximum convenience of the human race. Are we really preserving history, or are we just defending a broken system that stopped developing decades ago? Will you choose ancient tranquility, or will you finally step through the door of absolute convenience? But don't be too overwhelmed by the interior, because when you step out the front door, your entire concept of scale will suffer a total collapse. Forget everything you knew about saving space or being modest. The moment you step outside, America hits you with a tidal wave of size and excess. It is a world where the word small has been erased from the vocabulary. Everything in this country is just big. It is big for no apparent reason. Drinks, cars, roads, it's all massive. A UK large drink is an American small. An extra large burger in London is a medium in New York. Even the roads are different. A two-lane street in America is often the same width as a UK motorway. What is the actual need for this? I just want to know why it is so giant. I thought our trucks were big until I saw an American one where you have to literally climb a ladder to get into the driver's seat. It's like someone injected the entire continent with a heavy dose of steroids. Everything is just big. Everything is just big. What a place. What a place. The overwhelming sensation begins in the kitchen with the 2-meter-tall side-by-side refrigerator. Travelers from Germany look at these and realize it is basically two of their home fridges combined into one, featuring built-in ice factories and automatic water dispensers. People are always asking me, is everything truly gargantuan in the States? Just look at this thing. This is a standard American refrigerator, and it's wider than my entire wingspan. I'm about 165 centimeters. So this monster has to be at least 2 meters tall. It's pure insanity. Let's look inside. The freezer alone looks like an entire grocery store aisle. It's easily the size of 2 full German kitchens. There's even a dedicated ice scoop, so you're never without a frozen drink. That's vital. Then the other side? It's 4 times the size of anything in Europe. We've got a whole section just for drinks, a built-in water filtration system that refills itself automatically. They've got enough sauce here for a literal army. They are ready for a massive barbecue. We're actually thinking of getting a bigger one soon because there is still some empty space in this one. There is always something bigger. It is insane. But that is just the start of the addiction. When you walk into a Walmart or a Costco, you will see people loading up 4-liter bottles of milk, bags of chips the size of pillows, and casually buying a 75-inch television along with 4 new car tires at the same checkout. This is my first time in a Walmart, and it looks like a city inside. Everything is jumbo-sized. Look at all the groceries. The bread is stacked so high. When are you ever going to see this in England? You aren't. Look at the ice cream section. It just keeps going and going. Are you mad? It's 10 times bigger than anything at home. It's like every shop we have, Tesco, Asda, Morrison, all put together in one building. Everything is neat and nothing is squashed. They are selling iPhones and Nintendo Switches right next to the bananas. This is your local shop. I should just move here. I am in here trying to buy my life, and they have everything, except they don't have Apple Pay? How does a giant company not have Apple Pay? That's the only thing that doesn't make sense. Americans, you have to realize that you are living in a heaven on earth. You can literally walk out of your house, find a Walmart, and buy an entirely new life. From scratch. You can duplicate your existence in a single supermarket trip. This is not possible anywhere else on the planet. If there are Americans who don't like their country, I cannot fathom why. I would give my left leg to live here. I would cut off a hand to have this lifestyle. You have no idea how lucky you are, but I do, and I would take it in a heartbeat. Even the laundry is on a different scale. The machines are so big, you could probably crawl inside and live there for a few days. I can dry all my heavy towels and sheets perfectly in 45 minutes. Nothing shrinks, and everything is amazing. But what truly destroyed the outdated European standard was the culture of hyper-convenience addiction. Americans have turned their cars into extensions of their own bodies. You don't just get food at a window. You can withdraw cash, buy cigarettes, get your prescriptions, or even cast a vote without ever standing up. I made a list of all the drive-thrus you can find here, and it blew my mind. First up is pharmacies. It's genius. If you're sick, why are you walking into a shop to spread germs? Then there are liquor stores, which I still can't quite figure out. There are drive-through voting booths and even wedding chapels in Vegas. I heard there are drive-through funeral homes and blood donation centers, though I don't know how that would even work. America doesn't just have fast food. They have an entire life designed for your car. When you drive onto a 20-lane highway in Texas and then pull into a parking lot the size of a small town, you realize how absurd it is to struggle in the narrow, winding alleys of London or Paris. As a Brit, I find the roads absolutely amazing. I heard there is a 23-lane freeway in Texas. I can't believe something that big exists. Driving in Orlando is mental, with people zooming everywhere, but it's incredible. How can you even navigate 23 lanes? It's mad. And the service is where the redundancy turns into a privilege. The moment you sit down, you get a glass of ice water for free. You want a soda? Welcome to the world of free refills, where you pay once and drink until you are sick. As a Brit who has been here for a decade, watching people discover this for the first time is hilarious. People obsess over the fact that you can't walk anywhere, but the free refills and the bread rolls at places like Texas Roadhouse have me in stitches. In Ukraine or the UK, this would never work. If you bought one drink, you'd never get a second one for free. It's so weird how different parts of the world have these funny rules, but I love the free refills. Even catching a cold isn't a hassle. You can just grab strong painkillers off the shelf without waiting weeks for a doctor's appointment. Being able to just pick up medicine like that is incredible. In the UK, they act like they are giving you a secret document just to get a basic prescription. Everything here is designed to serve the thirst for comfort. Are we living a refined life in Europe? Or are we just trapping ourselves in a cage of frugality? Is a 4-litre bottle enough for you? Or do you want to run to the shop every morning because your fridge is too tiny? Who wouldn't want to live in a place where you can get your money from an ATM without leaving your seat? But size and comfort aren't the only things. When you look at the streets, you'd think you stepped into a sci-fi movie. America doesn't just use technology, they breathe it. Europe's version of modernity looks like a dusty museum in comparison. You hail a taxi and there is no driver. The Waymo just glides through the intersection while the steering wheel turns by itself. It leaves you breathless. There are tiny robots on the sidewalk delivering lunch. There is a robot named Marty patrolling the grocery store looking for spills. It is next level. That is like the future. This automation solves problems Europeans have endured for centuries. There are escalators specifically for shopping carts at Target. There are vending machines at the airport that give you fresh slices of cheesecake or hot sandwiches. Your garage door opens automatically the moment you pull up, while people in Britain are still getting out in the rain to open theirs manually. Even the stadiums, like the one for the Falcons, make Europe's football meccas look like underserved historical ruins. Everything is automated, so you don't waste a single calorie on a manual task. It makes you wonder if we are even in control anymore, or if we are just too nostalgic for old, broken values. Would you rather sit in a futuristic self-driving pod, or keep struggling with a steering wheel? And the food? Don't even get me started on the flavors. Europeans used to mock American food as toxic, but that was before they tasted real Southern barbecue. 12 hours of smoked brisket that melts the moment it hits. Your tongue is a work of art, not fast food. It makes the dry grilled meats of England look pathetic. The richness of the regional cuisine is something the old continent can't match. Lobster rolls in New England, deep dish in Chicago, or even a simple In-N-Out burger makes an expensive London meal seem bland. Then you have the Waffle House at 10 p.m. for chicken and waffles, a sweet and savory combination that is pure obsession. The portions could feed a family of 4. The service is always smiling, always refilling your water before you even ask. Are we appreciating sophistication in Europe? Or are we just lying to ourselves because our food is modest and bland? Finally, we have to talk about security euphoria. Right now, on the historic streets of London or Paris, people are living in constant fear. Phone snatching is happening in broad daylight. Masked robbers zoom past and steal your life in a second, while the police do nothing but take a statement and leave. British citizens have to wear wrist straps just to use their phones outside. Knife violence has turned a nighttime walk into a gamble. In contrast, many parts of America offer a completely different definition of safety. In the suburbs, people leave their car doors unlocked. Children cycle freely. Neighbors actually watch out for each other. Those white wooden fences aren't just movie props. They are symbols of actual peace. This comes from a logically planned infrastructure that is much easier to monitor than the labyrinth of European alleys. The culture of greeting strangers creates a community security network that is incredibly robust. The respect for traditional values and the military creates a society of discipline and cohesion. It makes parents in the UK frightened for their children's future. Are you brave enough to use your phone in London right now? Or do you crave the feeling of a stranger greeting you with a radiant smile? As you fly back to Europe, the grey sky welcomes you to a grim reality. The disappointment is real. America isn't perfect, and comfort isn't cheap. But the contrast is enough to shatter any ancient pride. Are we preserving history or just defending a failure to evolve? Do you choose the slow pace of Europe or the booming rhythm of the American dream? If this perspective resonates with you, make sure to like the video and share it. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss an analysis. Tell us in the comments, if you had the choice today, where would you settle? Please note, this content is based on personal perspectives, individual experiences, and aggregated media data for the purpose of discussion. It is not intended to attack any specific person or nation. Viewers should use their own judgment and take responsibility for their own life decisions.